Morning, everybody. Welcome back. Happy New Year. Glad to be back in the saddle here. I think today's technically a holiday, right? So I could have taken the day off, but I didn't. I didn't because we grind. We grind out here. I actually don't know if technically today is a holiday because I don't have a real person's job. So I can't even confirm or deny that. Who do we have here in the new year? First stream, we got Sneeps up in here. David C's, Mark Thanes is here. Kevin is here. Mac Attack, the Common Man. No new title yet. It's coming. It's coming soon. Hopefully this later this week, at the very latest, early next week. Just working on a couple of things before we officially do that. T Adams is here. DJ Local, Sneeps. That was ridiculous. We got T Man he Evo Dreamer. Less than 6 hours to deadline. I know, Min Folks here. We got D-Lows here. We got Regulators, a federal holiday. There we go. Kevin's here. They're dancing. Guys, welcome. Welcome back. Yeah, so it came to my attention this morning. We're going to have to do live before lock a little bit earlier than normal. A little bit earlier than normal because lock is at like 3 o'clock Eastern today. So because I forgot, federal holiday. We just got random ass games in the middle of the day. Shout out Skeets, who I think asked for this last week, and then the NBA immediately responded to it. So I'm glad he's got Silver's ear. Matthew Harrison says Team Hold employees are essential workers. Dude, this gives me big PTSD energy right here. I'm sure Kevin can relate to this. I was probably like the dumbest essential worker there was for like 10 years. And I hated it. I hated that title. All right, what do we got? Lloyd's here. Yeah, it's an deserved holiday. There we go. Tommy B says, morning, fella. Zeely's here. Shep. Ben's here. Happy New Year. Thank you. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I'll be like honest. This is what we did on Saturday night. So early Saturday, we went out, we got a drink, we had a really nice time. And then we went to this place called Astoria Beer and Cheese. We got a bunch of fancy charcuterie shit. And we came home and we ate all of that and stayed up till like 12:15. And I got to tell you, God, it made me so happy to not be, especially like, I get it if you are not in New York, but if you are in New York, it is the most expensive time of year to get anywhere because all of the Ubers and Lyfts and every rate is just jacked up. Everyone's trying to get a cab at the same time, or everyone's taking the train. And so we were going to go to a couple of friends' parties, but it would have been like $150 to get home. And I love sweatpants. And so that was the energy we had. So it was great. But I hope you guys had a great New Year's. And then yesterday, I know I talked about it before. I had a very exciting best ball sweat on Underdog for 2 million up at first, only 470 lineups left. And it just didn't get going. It was a pretty disappointing day. I mean, I still have a little bit of hope to jump up the pay ladder tonight with the game because I have Joe Burrows and T Higgins. But I do want to shout out our guy, Pat Kerrane. Kerrane absolutely is cooking. He's in first place right now for 2 million. And if you are a fantasy football fan, I'm sure you've seen Kerrane's content, whether on Ship Chasing or on Over's Edge Show or the stuff that he does for NBC Sports, just absolutely cooking. So shout out Kerrane. If I'm going to get my butt kicked, and it would be an honor to, do my part in making sure Kerrane took that 2 million. You know what I'm saying? Here's what we're going to do today, though. We're going to go over the weekend of hoops because I feel like we all didn't really super pay attention this weekend because other stuff was going on. So we're going to dive into some basketball. And then you know what I think we're going to do? We're going to take a look. It's going to be hard to do value hunting yet because I know Mr. John Boy's on the West Coast and he's taking a little snooze. But I'm sure those projections will be updated for live before lock. But I was going to try to sift through a value hunting and just see what we can see. I'm going to take you through a couple of the moves that I made over the weekend as well. And then we'll take a look at tonight, the game week this week, because we're going to have to build our lineups a lot earlier than normal. But obviously, if you are here, like the stream, do all that stuff. Let me, last thing too, is I'll just kind of talk about our content plan for the week. So like I said, live before lock, we'll probably do it at like 2 o'clock Eastern, I guess, and just do it from 2 to 2:50. And then 89 cat. No. Then tomorrow we'll have the NBA morning show. On Wednesday we'll have the morning show. We'll have a new episode of Value Hunting, and then we will have 89 Cavs and then Shot Tank. Wednesday's a busy day. Thursday, the morning show, and then Friday we'll have the morning show and more live before lock. So we're gonna have a guest on live before lock on Friday. We're gonna have him today, but I think today's gonna be tricky considering the slate is in the middle of the day. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's dive into the weekend of hoops. So we're gonna go from Friday to Monday. We're gonna cover every freaking game. We're gonna talk some so rare a little bit along the way. And if you guys have any top shot things that we need to cover, we can. I know accounts seem to be boosting a little bit. Who knew that a 5% rate back would help people spend money? So hopefully that continues into the new year. We'll see now that the rake back's over. But if we have top shot stuff we want to talk about, we can. But let's get into the content. Let's get into the hoops. So Friday night, there was a lot of games on Friday. Then there was like a sprinkling on Saturday and only 3 last night. But the Wizards beat the Magic 119-100. This was the Magic's first game without their whole team because of the fight over in Detroit. The Wiz won pretty easily. It was a pretty disappointing game. I actually played DFS that night and stacked up this game, and it was disappointing. Kuz went for 23, 6, and 5, but he had like 11. He had not 11, but he had a ton of turnovers. Poor Zanger had 30 and 13. Paolo Banchero hit 21 and 5, and then Franz Wagner hit 28 and 8. On an aside, as we're talking about the Wagners, I started watching oh man, what's it said, like Pitch Perfect spinoff. We started watching it last night on Peacock. And it just takes place in Germany. So just get ready for the German. Lakers beat the Hawks 131-21. It was LeBron's birthday Friday. LeBron went for 47, 10, and 9, and he's officially my age now. Thomas Bryant had 19 and 17. Trey 29 and 8. DeJounte 29 and 7. Hawks weird stuff. Report comes out right before the game where Nate McMillan almost just said, like, fuck this, I'm taking my ball and going home. That the vibes are bad in Atlanta. They're going to continue to be bad because they're not a good team and they bad like leadership, bad chemistry. So it's gonna be a tough scene over there. Stubbs is up in here. What's up, Stubbs? Hope you're enjoying your vacay, my man. Yeah, the Hawks thing is bad, though. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of drama, a lot of fun out of this. I'm excited to follow along. But yeah, vibes are bad. Vibes are bad. Raptors beat the Suns 113-104. Phoenix. No Devin Booker still. We read a report on Friday that D-Book is going to be out for a month, so that's going to be tough. Bridges had 21. CP3 had 20 and 12. Also, I see Jordan up in here with the people. Happy New Year. Welcome. So I feel like my hair's got a little extra floof to it today. You know what I'm saying? We need a haircut. New trimmers coming today, too, and I'm very excited about that. Not that you needed to know, but whatever. Siakam at 26 and 5. Gary Trent got the start. This is what I was talking about on Live Before Lock when everyone was like, Malachi Flynn is popping. No Fred VanVleet. Malachi's going to be cooking. And then you know what? Nick Nurse was like, hey, Malachi, how about 16 minutes? Because Gary Trent Jr., come on down. He had 35 and 5. Jonas said, will you be doing a Live Before Lock? I will. It's going to be early. I'm going to build the stream right after this. I'll tweet out an announcement, put it in the Discord. But I think Lock is at 3 p.m. Eastern, so I'll start the show at 2 p.m. Eastern. I think that's the plan. And yeah, Kevin Herter is happy. Red Velvet's happy in Sacktown. Good win for the Raps, though. You know, they need some dubs. Bulls beat the Pistons 132-118. Levine had a monster game and a monster dunk that night. It looked like he hit his backboard on like the foam of the back, like just crushed down an alley-oop from Io. He had 43 and 6. DDR had, people saying Wi-Fi Mike. Am I having bad Wi-Fi? Oh no. Am I having bad Wi-Fi? Sorry if I was choppy, guys. But yeah, we have where was it? Shoot. DDR had 22, 6, and 5. Jaden Ivey had 22 and 6, and Boyan had 20 and 6. I don't know why I keep waiting for Jaden Ivey to like put up 30 and 10. I think it's just because I have his so rare card. So I'm like, yeah, dude, he's cooking, baby. He's cooking. All right, Top Shot comment, man. False alarm. All right. But yeah, good win for the Bulls. Bucks beat the Wolves, dude. The Wolves are down so bad. So rare Viking. I'll get to some of the so rare after we get through the hoops. I think Kenrich is fine. Figuring out the OKC, it's like the minor league version of figuring out Toronto. The minutes are all over the place, but with Pokuševski missing time, that definitely helps Kenrich. All right. Bucks on 123-114. Giannis, 43, 20, and 5. The Ant-Man had 30 and 10. Bobby Portis, 22 and 14. Wolves had a really tough weekend. We're going to get to their second game in a bit. But Naz Reid, quote came from Naz Reid this weekend and was basically like, Actually, let me see. I think I texted it to my boys. Let me see what that was. Here we go. Naz Reid, when asked, is it a mystery to the players why the Timberwolves are underachieving? He said, not really. We know why. And I'm going to keep that in-house, but we know why. Rudy. That's got to be Rudy's fault. Can't imagine who else's fault that is. Love to pin stuff on D'Angelo Russell, but I'm going to guess this is Rudy. Yikes. I mean, this one's not a bad loss, right? Losing to the Bucks. Bucks are a better team. Front end of the back-to-back. Sure, they were without actually, they were without Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton for that game. So that is a pretty bad loss. Pels and 76ers. Pels won 127, Sixers 116. Joel Embiid at 37-8, Harden 20-10, and then Zion with a 36-5. CJ had a night of his life. He had you sure? David says, you sure it isn't the Cat Ant relationship? David, the only reason I would say that is Cat hasn't played this entire time, right? So the games that they are referring to have been without Cat. He hasn't played in like 4 weeks. So it's not, I don't think it's that. Maybe, unless Cat just sucks on the bench too. But CJ in that game went for 42 points. He broke the record of most threes in a game for the Pelicans. He went 11 for 16 from 3, and he was on my So Rare lineups. Thank you, CJ. So great performance by him. Great win from the Pelicans. Tough matchup against Philly. Philly the next day was like, oh, God, we're playing OKC back-to-back. Let's rest our boys. Nuggets beat the Heat 124-119. I watched the fourth quarter of this game. Excellent fourth quarter. Plunge Father in the house. We the people said CJ been cooking since he tapped in with Dame. Dame told him it was weird not to see him cook, then proceeded to cook. That's all it takes. That all it takes. Dame time, Dame therapist time. So I watched the fourth quarter of the Nuggets Heat game. It was excellent. So the shot making that was happening down the stretch was great. They were just trading bucket after bucket after bucket. And here's the thing with Jokic, man. There's just something about him where like if he decides he's going to score, like there's nothing you can do. Like, and that's what's so impressive about him is he doesn't do that the whole game. He just kind of shows up in the fourth and was like, all right, let's do it. It's my time. He just had a great game. And like, he had 19, 12 and 12, another triple double. But down the stretch, I think he had like 10 of his 19 in the fourth quarter. I tweeted something out. I mean, the Nuggets have to be one of the best, like, crunch time under 4 3-minute teams. Like they just feel like they get any shot they want. And like their defense it's not as bad as everyone says. It does need to get a little bit better, but like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're going to hit every shot. Tyler Hero had a hell of a weekend, man. He's been balling. He had 26 and 10. Bam Adebayo had 22 and 7. Bones had 16 off the bench, and then KCP had 20. But yeah, it was funny. Like Jamal Murray didn't really have a high scoring game, but again, in the fourth quarter, I think he had like nine points in the last few minutes. Kaleidoscope. Yes, Plunge. Let's do this. Let's pick a Friday. Let's pick a Friday and do this. I'm down. I am down for that. All right. So anyways, good win for the Nuggets. Warriors beat the Blazers 118-112. This was another one too. Blazers were cooking the whole game. And then the last few minutes in the fourth quarter, the Warriors just went on a sick run. Clay was in fuego. He had 31. Jordan Poole had 41, 5 and 6. Simons had 22 and 7. And then Dame had 34, 8 and 5. A little So Rare talk. I actually listed my Jordan Poole on Friday right after lock because a couple of reasons. Steph's going to be back in a couple of weeks. Steph is going to be back in a couple of weeks, and Jordan Poole's cap's starting to go up a little bit. And I still think Jordan Poole is a great play, but I wanted to get off him before Steph comes back. So I flipped to Jordan Poole, and in return, it was Jordan Poole rare. And in return, I got, I sold it and then went and bought stuff. I bought a Franz Wagner rare. I bought Jacques Landale rare and a Sabonis limited. So basically did those 3 for the Jordan Poole. So I'm going to call that a W. I'm going to miss having Jordan Poole because the ceiling's so high right now, but yeah, Warriors, dude. I think the Warriors are now, I want to double check, but I'm pretty sure they've won 4 in a row at this point, and are really surviving. They're just surviving without Steph, and they're now above 500 for the first time I can remember. Yeah, they've won 4 in a row. So 5 and 5 in their last 10, won 4 in a row. Okay, last game on Friday night. I told you there was a bunch of them. Kangs beat the Jazz 126-125. Lauri Markkanen had a good weekend in 2 L's, but 36 and 5. Clarkson had 25, 9 and 4. Bone 28, 11 and 8. Kevin Schwerter had 30, and then Fox had 24 and 10. Nice double-double for Fox. Good win for the Kings. I feel like the calls and the bounces are going their way now. It's like the law of averages after the first half or first like 10th of the year. They were getting they were getting boned at the end of the games on calls and just shots weren't falling when they needed to. And now look at them, they're rolling. All right, on to Saturday. We're gonna fly through this so we can get into some more so rare stuff on Saturday. Pacers and who was it? Pacers and Clip. Dude, nobody played defense in this game. Like the second half of this game was just constant. Super Loops here, Roja. Congrats, man. That's huge, huge. 27. Let's go. What is that? Is that limited tier 1 or 2? Okay, so Kawhi had 24, 7, and 5. Paul George had a big boy game. Paul George had 45 and 9. Tyrese Halliburton, another monster, 24, 10, and 7. And then Miles Turner, who I feel like has been MIA for a while, he dropped 34 real life ones. So good. Hey, listen, every time we think like, oh, Pacers are about to fall off a little bit, this has been cute, this has been fun. Then they rip off a couple wins in a row, and that's a good one against the Clippers because the Clippers have been playing great basketball lately. I know they dropped one to the Celtics, but prior to that, we're like really rolling. So it's a good win for the daytime Pacers. The Nets, dude. Nets have now won 11 in a row, 16 of 18. They are just cruising. They are just cruising right now. 24 and 12. They are a game and a half out of first. Their next two games, too, are against Spurs and Bulls. So this could easily be 2 more wins. They're just rolling, man. It's hard to the only thing that you can say about them right now is that like if you are a hater on the Nets, the only thing you can say is you're like, well, KD's going to get hurt or Kyrie's going to say something wild. Like those are the only 2 flaws right now because they're doing it with like Seth Curry misses games, Joe Harris misses games, like everybody, like everybody's pitching in a little bit. Yeah, but anyways, I granted it was the Hornets, but still, KD had 23 and 5, Kyrie 28 and 6, LaMelo 23, 11 and 7, and Plum Dog Millionaire 22 and 10. I was bummed with Mark Williams. I think the Hornets had 2 games this week, maybe just 1. And Williams' numbers there. I don't understand what the Hornets are doing with Plumlee. I don't know if they're trying to pad his stats to trade him. Like they're down 20 and they're like, dude, let's get the starters in there. I guess if you're the bright spot for the Hornets is that LaMelo is playing really, really well stat wise. Anyways, I feel like he's constantly putting up double doubles, sneaking around with triple doubles, but the 23, 11, and 7 is nice. But whatever. Cavs and Bulls. This is a weird one. Garland sat, Mobley sat. I think Allen might have sat too. I can't remember if Allen sat, but I know the first 2 did. Cavs on 103, 102 is Kevin Love's night. He had 20 and 9. Karis LeVert had 23 and 7. And then DDR had 21. So good win for the Cavs in a low scoring game. Bulls were on a back-to-back, and they won the first one, so the Bulls are probably like, that's okay, we got a W in here. Tog saying, trading for Sabonis for LeBron Bell. LeBron getting older, but it's still LeBron. Dude, so with AD out, I do like LeBron a little bit better. I totally get what you're saying, but they're even like playing LeBron at the 5. I mean, I feel like you're going to get a lot of like 35, 10 and 10 games. Whatever. I think it's pretty close. I totally understand making the move. Like Sabonis, probably more long-term, sure. You're also just like hoping LeBron doesn't get hurt for using or playing as much as he's playing right now in this weird like situation with no AD and he's 38. So I totally get it. I think LeBron just like pure stat wise is probably a little bit better than Sabonis right now. Knicks and Rockets. This was a funny one. Eric Gordon had a comment in after the game asking about what it's been like seeing the Rockets' improvement so far this year, and he was like, "There's been no improvement." Which to me, he was looking into the camera and saying, "Trade me, please, God, trade me." So Eric Gordon's going to get traded. He's on his way out. He is definitely on his way out. We the People says Bron's going to OKC when Bronny comes in the league with all their first round picks. Maybe. But yeah, poor dude. Eric Gordon's like, get me out. Knicks won 108-88. Brunson missed another game. We got to pay attention. I don't know what the injury status is on Brunson heading into tonight, but man, Quickly has been balling without Brunson. Quickly at 27, 7 and 5. Randall at 35, 12 and 6. Quentin Grimes had 19, and then KPJ was the only one. Jalen Green boned me in this. But Kevin Porter Jr. at 23, 10 and 8. Good win for the Knicks. Just beat the team you're supposed to beat. Let's keep it moving. It's time to talk some Mavericks. And because we're talking Mavericks, it's time to drop Luka Magic. Dude, Luke is unbelievable. Another 50-point performance. The dude had 22 in the first quarter. He had 40 by the end of the third. He landed with 51, 9, and 6. He also had 4 steals and a block. 4 steals and a block. But they won 126-125. Christian Hardwood had 25 and 7. Sohan had 20 and 6. Keldon 30 and 4. Podol had 19 and 15. There was a great clip of an interview of Popovich prior to the game, like a day before the game. They're like, "What's the game plan for Luka?" And they were like, "To keep him under 50." And they didn't do that. They didn't do that. You know, it's interesting. Like Luka is putting up crazy numbers, but they're like barely beating teams with these insane numbers, which is kind of funny. Yeah, no point playing champ unless you have Luka. I would say Luka or Giannis. Giannis had 43 and 20 this weekend, so either one. What was the other thing? I thought there was another. Oh yeah, this is a good one. What happens first? New NBA expansion teams or LeBron retires? Well, the rumor is LeBron is going to be a part of the ownership in the expansion team if they go to Vegas or something. So I don't know. Maybe it's both. Maybe it's both. Yeah, Luka averaged 45, 11, and 10 last 5 games. There was another stat. I was listening to it was either Friday or Saturday. I was listening to the Hoop Collective and oh my God, Tim McMahon. Tim McMahon had a stat, and this was before this weekend's game. But the stat was that in the second half, I think I tweeted it out. But in the second half, Luka is averaging like 25, 8, and 5. Not the second half of the season, the second half. So like the third and fourth quarter for the last like 4 or 5 games has been averaging 25, 8, and 4, 5. Crazy. Crazy. Whatever. They got the win. I know it's against San Antonio, but they got the win. Grizzlies beat the Pels. Grizz finally broke out of their slump with 2 good wins this weekend. They beat the Pelicans 116-101. Zion had 20 and 9. John Moran had 32 and 8. Talking about Jaren Jackson Jr. mainly because he went 17, 6, and 6, but one of those 6s were blocks. He had 6 blocks in a game. And then Desmond Bane had a solid game. It was good to see the Grizzlies like rested Bane the second game of the back-to-back, but Bane had 18 and 7 that game. Can LeBron be player and owner, then play with his sons? That would be great. It's on the table. It's on the table. We the people said supposedly LeBron wants to play till the Vegas team is built, then go and own the team, play for it. Yeah, that's what I was seeing too. Do you like watching the Luka Prime Harden Rockets pound the air out of the ball style? You prefer more free flowing? No, I prefer more free flowing. I think it's incredible what Luka's doing, but I would much rather watch Jokic than Luka right now. And that's not even a slight. That's just like what I like watching. That's what I like watching. So just because there's more movement, there's more like the passing's a little better. You know, everyone's getting involved. Where Luka's just like, I mean, Luka still does some amazing stuff. That Christmas Day fake out pass like was incredible. So I get it. Yeah, and Top Shot Common Man says still no DFS, Josh Green or Maxey. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yes, there will be. There will be, Vic. All right, we're still only on Saturday. Pistons beat the Wolves. This was the game that I was referring to. I don't know how Minnesota lost this game. Boyan had 28, 6, and 5. Marvin Bags had 18 and 10. Ant-Man 37 and 5, and then D'Lo 25 and 5. It's a terrible loss for Minnesota. You can't lose that game. It would have been one thing if they won on Friday night and lost on Saturday, but they didn't. They lost both of those games. That's really bad. We don't have to say anything else about them because we'd already talked. Sorry, my Ember mug is now, we're in the red. We're in the red, which means the battery's going to die soon. So we got to start pounding this coffee before it goes cold. My coffee's gone cold. I'm wondering why. All right. Sixers 115. Tunda 96. Harris, Tobias had 23 and 9, and B triple double 16, 13, and 10, and then Giddey had 20 and 9. This game was out of control. The Sixers sat like a bunch of dudes, and then we're still up like 40. Yeah, Sadiq Bey and Beef Stew. Beef Stew's been cooking. A lot of people were like off of Beef Stew because of Jalen Duren, but he's been playing really great. Had Luka and Giannis and So Rare paired with 24. Oh God. Sabonis's Joker light. I like that. Ready? Here we go. Sabonis is to Joker as Poole is to Steph. It's probably not a fair comparison because Sabonis is a lot better, but I was just trying to do some stuff like that. We made it one day into 2023 without a Dido reference. Hell yeah. At least it wasn't Eminem. Prices on so rare are so weird right now. I think way too many rares are over 100 to 150 bucks. Yeah, they are. They are a little weird. You know, but then you can find deals. I don't know. I was surprised there were some that I was getting for like 35, 40. Plunge says no free ads. Listen, I'll give Ember the free ads all they want. I mean, I'd rather them pay me, but man, I love it so much. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I feel like I'm behind schedule, but I'm not. But it feels that way. Heat J 126, 123. Big win for the Heat. Big performance by Tyler Hero. Monster shot late in the game. Hero finished with 29, 9, and 6. Bam. Had 32 and 8. And Depot, 23 off the bench. Oladipo's sighting. Laurie Marketing, 29 and 14. Clarkson, 22 and 5. And Bees, 17. We're going to look at the standings in a second, but the Jazz, the shiny excitement might have worn off on the Jazz, and it might be time to I think we're going to start seeing some movement. Kelly Olynyk's going to be gone for sure. I feel like Beasley as well, but we're going to start seeing some movement on that Jazz team pretty soon. All right, 3 games left. We're on to Sunday. Nuggets beat the Celtics 123-111. Bad team performance by the Celtics here. Tatum had 25, 7, and 6. And Jaylen Brown had 30 and 8. Derek White was the only other guy that hit double figures with like 12 or 13. I'll just chalk this up. I'm pretty sure the game was in Denver. Altitude, mile high game. They weren't prepared. But it's a tough start to the stretch. I think they have a 4 or 5 game road trip, and that was a tough way to start it. Aaron Gordon continues to just be good, man. 18, 7, and 6. There was no Jamal Murray last night. Once again, everyone's like, oh, Bones is going to start. And Michael Malone is like, no, thank you, Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown put up 21. Michael Porter Jr., 19. And then Jokic, again, like another monster triple-double, 30, 12, and 12. That's Jesus. And then Bones had 17 off the bench. But Denver now in first place. Denver has moved to first place, so congrats to them. Congrats to the Nuggets. And then 2 games left. The Grizz beat the Kangs 118-114. Ja Morant had 35 and 8. Steven Adams, dude, 11 points, 23 rebounds. Some big beef, Steven Adams. There's a great like photo mashup or side by side over the weekend of like Adams' rookie year, and Adams looks like he was in some ABC cop procedural when he first came into the league, and now he looks like, Jason Momoa. Top Shot Tesla said, yeah, Al Horford and Aaron Gordon was some pretty wild turnarounds these past couple seasons. I know. Al Horford, all it took was taking a year off in OKC to just get healthy. And then the last game, Sabonis had 18 and 14, Fox 19 and 6. And then the last game, the Wiz beat the Bucks. So the Bucks rested Giannis, Middleton, Drew, and George Hill. And you know what? Wesley Matthews still did not get into the game. So that hurt my heart. Kuz had a triple-double. He had 10, 13, and 11. The Zanger, 22 and 5. Rui Hachimura had 26 off the bench. And then Bobby Portis, 19 and 16. But this game was over before it started. It was a very bad, out-of-control game right away. Let's take a peek at the standings, too. Joker and Lukic next to average triple-dubs after Mr. Tripp himself. I know. It's happening. Well, let's actually look at that before we look at the standings, because I wanted to look, because Jokic was like short on assists, and then he put up 12 in back-to-back games. So I was curious what his numbers were on the season so far. I also saw Luka. I think Luka is now the MVP favorite, the betting favorite after this week's performance. I think that has more to do with the money coming in, but anyways, let's see. What is going on? Did my computer freeze? What's going on here? Oh, okay, there we go. Sorry if that froze up for you guys. All right, so right now, Jokic is averaging 25.7, 10.9, 9.5. Wow, that's pretty good. Pretty good. And the last couple of games, what has he been doing here? Last couple of games, I just want to look at his assist numbers right now. Come on, stop it. All right, so his assist numbers the last couple of games, 12, 12, 6, 11, 15, 11, 13, 10. Yeah, he's going to get over 10 soon. Absolutely cooking. All right, let's look at Luka 2, Luka Magic, and see what his I started typing in Luka Magic. That's pretty funny. Well, the crazy thing about Luka is the dude's still so young. He's averaging 34, 8, and 8, almost 34, 9, and 9. Now, what's impressive is the 34 number. That 34 number is crazy. All right, let's go over the standings since we had a few days that went by. Let's see what we got here. So, whoopsie daisy. Celtics still in first, but they're 5-5 in their last 10. Slowed down a little bit. They're 26-11. They're still in great shape, but are slowing down. Brooklyn Nets, as we said, right? Winners of 11 in a row, 16 of their last 18. They are 24-12, only a game and a half. I think the Nets are going to be in first place by like the second week of January. Bucks are 23-13. They're 4-6 in their last 10. I know they're battling some injury stuff. Their offense feels really stagnant. If you've been watching some of the Bucks stuff lately, feels really stagnant. I know, go Bucks. I don't think it's something to worry about because they're still not healthy, but I don't know. I would just something to pay attention to. Cavs are 23-14. Cavs still like pretty consistent. You can see the East separating themselves a little bit though, right? With these top five, with the, as you see, Cavs 23-14, Sixers 21-14, and then the Pacers right there at 20-17. The Pacers thing though, pretty exciting here. 6-4 in their last 10, winners of 3 in a row. They're like hanging in. Let's actually see what the Pacers' upcoming schedule is here. I'm curious what they've got coming down the pipeline and if they can hang on to this. So Toronto, Philly, Portland, Charlotte, New York, Atlanta, Memphis, Milwaukee. Couple easy W's in there, but overall, we'll get a better feel for the Pacers momentarily. What else we have? After the Pacers, you get the Heat, who Heat seem to be like figuring it out here. 7 of their last 10. Yeah, we the people saying I think the Heat catch the Warriors, then the top 6 will be cemented. Yeah, I agree with that. Oh no, the Pacers, sorry, not the Warriors. Yeah, I agree with that. I do think they're going to catch. And listen, I mean, the Knicks are still hanging around, both 19 and 18. And then Hawks are 17 and 19. Wizards are 17 and 21. If I had to make one prediction right here, I think the Raptors, unless they all of a sudden decide to blow it up, which I don't think they will, I think the Raptors catch the Wizards and the Hawks. And I think the Raptors end up finishing in the 9 seed. And then the 10 seed is probably one of Atlanta or Washington, unless Chicago does something desperate. But I do think Toronto moves up. And then here you go. Pistons and Hornets still down here with 10 wins. Magic cooled off a little bit. Losers of 3 in a row. They're now 13-24. But I do think the Raptors figured out a little bit. On the West side of things, the Nuggets have moved into first place, 8-2 in their last 10, winners of 2 in a row, 24-12. Grizz have caught up to the Pels here, 23-13, after stumbling right after Christmas. They've now won 3 in a row. The Pellies lost their last one, 5-5 in their last 10, but still 23-13. And here's the Mavs. Look at the Mavs, winners of 6 in a row, 7 of their last 10. They are now 21-16 in fourth place. Clippers right there, 21-17. West is starting to figure itself out here in the top 4 or 5, but then you get the Kangs right there at 19-16. Suns now down to the 7 seed, 20-17. Listen, I'm not going to go down this road again. I'll just say the Suns, it's going to be a tough month. Blazers, I'm curious how the Blazers fit into this. I feel like they feel like a playing team. Like I said, Warriors over 500 for the first time in a while. It feels like 5-5 in their last 10. But listen, without Steph, the fact that they are whatever they are, winners of 4 in a row, they've got to be ecstatic right now. They've got to win just like all of their home games. And I think if I recall, I think their next couple of games aren't too bad here. So let me see. Yeah, Atlanta, stumbling Atlanta. It's at home. Then they get Detroit, Orlando, Phoenix. I mean, they truly could. I guarantee you this time next. So what's the date here on this one? Tuesday, January 10th. By next Tuesday, there's going to be a bunch of talk about how the Warriors are the favorites to win the title. Get ready for that. As long as the Steph injury comes to a point where they're just like, hey, he's going to be back next week versus there's a setback. But because if they rip off 3 more, they're going to be like, wow, 7 in a row for the Warriors without Steph. Now they are 4 or 5 games over 500. They're almost out of the playing game. What happens when Steph comes back? He was playing MVP type basketball. You're going to see a lot of that. Every podcast is going to do that, after myself included, shit on them for a while, right? So get ready for that. That's going to be exciting. And I don't know what I win for calling that, but I guarantee you every Ringer NBA podcast is going to be like, did we overestimate what Steve Kerr meant to this team? Stuff like that. Get ready. And then Utah Jazz. So 4 losers of 4 in a row, 4 of their last 6. They're now 19-20. So the Jazz are in a weird spot because of how bad the teams are behind them right now. You assume the Timberwolves are going to figure this out, but I actually think that's a bad assumption. So maybe the Jazz are like, hey, can we trade off some of our pieces but still finish 10th? I don't know. Let's see who the Jazz have upcoming here. They have down here, we got Kangs, Houston, Chicago, Memphis, Cleveland, Orlando, Philly, Mini. Yeah, so that's like 500 type. That's a 500 type schedule. And then the worst of the worst here, we've got the Thunder. We have the Wolves, Thunder, Lakers, Spurs. I mean, dude, the New Orleans Pelicans just must be licking their chops right now. The fact that they get the Lakers first round pick, and the Lakers, it doesn't seem like it's getting any better for them. Let's look at the Wolves upcoming schedule here: Denver, Portland, Clippers, Houston, Detroit, Phoenix, Cleveland, Jazz. So that let's look at their next 10 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, ready? L, 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 W, W. I'm an L. That's 2 and 4. 2 and 5, L. I'll give them a win over at Utah. 3 and 5, L. 4 and 6, 3 and 6. L. I'm going to say they go 3 and 7 over their next 10, and then there's going to be crazy talk about how people need to be fired, and then how, is it Cat? Does Cat go or does Rudy go? Who gets traded? The answer is Cat, by the way. It's not going to be Rudy because they just gave up too much for him. And then here you go. So you get 3 teams with 10 wins right now: the Rockets, the Mavs, the Rockets, the Pistons, and the Hornets. So that's our bottom 3, and then it's followed by Spurs in 4. And then Magic in 5, but man, Magic only have a couple of games ahead of the Lakers. So, and then let's just see what we got coming up tonight. What's today's action? So we have one game at 3. That's so stupid that they have one game and that's why it locks. I get it, but whatever. All right, 3:00, Suns and Knicks. That's in New York. Tickets as low as 146. I honestly thought they'd be cheaper in the middle of the day, but here you go. Then tonight we've got Lakers, we got the Hornets, we got Bulls and Cavs. What games are we excited about? New Orleans, Philly, that'll be fun. They just played each other. Brooklyn, no. Golden State, Atlanta's on NBA TV. Dallas, Houston, Denver, Minnesota, I think will be fun too. It'll be a lot of up and down. But there you go. That's the upcoming schedule. I wanted to poke around with So Rare a little bit. There we go, the 38-minute stretch. Get that back loose. Let's poke around with So Rare. I'll show you what I did. Let's look at my past. My past is my past. All right, here we go. These are my squads this week. So common contender got me a tier 2 comment, I believe. The CJ 71 was nice, followed by MPJ's 29, and then Dud, someone with 36. Common champion, Miles McBride let me down. So did Ivy in a way. Limited contender. This was so frustrating, right? We got 56 out of Quickly, 42 out of Keldon Johnson. Landell, like, honestly, I'd take 22 from him at that cap. And then Jalen Green with 18 and Mark Williams with 9. I needed Jalen Green in the 30s and Mark Williams in like the high teens, low 20s. This still took down a limited tier 4, I believe, but whatever. My champion was pretty disappointing too. I mean, Javon Carter was fine. Kuz with only 36 was tough, and then Zion with only 42 was tough, but that's why I picked up this limited Sabonis so I could roll those out in the same lineup. My rare contender was so frustrating because, right, we got 79 from CJ on the first night, 55 from Poole. We only got 33 from Ivy. Muscala got 9, and then Wesley Matthews didn't play, which was frustrating. However, it's still got a rare tier 3. So getting a common tier 2, limited tier 4, rare tier 3, we will take it. We can look at some of the upcoming stuff too. What do I got in the chat here? What's saying? I was 435 in limited contender. One more spot, I would have lost the tier 2. Damn. Muscala should get some minutes in the back-to-back. Thoughts on this? Well, Roland, that's what I did. That is what I did with Muscala, and he didn't crush this week, but I'm still hoping it. Mickey Fu says, you know what, mate? I will do that. I will do that today. Hopefully we get our rewards in time today, but I will. I'll do that today. I'll open the rewards live. Good idea. I like that call. All right, so let's see. What special stuff do we have? So we've got limited contender champ, limited contender champ. The fun one, limited all defense, whatever, rare contender, rare champ. I'll show you what my first pass at a rare contender was Wagner, Ivy, Draymond, Jock Landell, and Jalen Smith. I don't think I'm going to be able to fit CJ in this time, but dug that one. And then, okay, so that's it for the special tournaments. We do have under 23 and over 30 coming soon, which is exciting. Let me see what we have over. I want to see if the spreadsheets have been updated yet. No, they haven't. All right, they haven't been updated, so I don't want to dive in too much to the spreadsheets to spread misinformation, right? So we got a lot of injury news to pay attention to. Let me just see. I was looking at Twitter earlier and saw that Underdog tweeted a bunch of stuff. So let me see what we got going on over here. And then speaking of Underdog, we why don't I take a look at our best ball situation for basketball? We can have fun with that. I also recommend checking out at the end of last week I was on So Rare Data NBA show, and that was really fun. It was fun having Andrew, talking to Andrew about his experience with So Rare and just kind of comparing the two and like the timelines. He's going to be coming on our show sometime either this week or next week, which should be pretty fun. We the people said saw a video comparing Kobe and Shaq's championships to Katie and Steph, how Shaq won when he left, like Curry did. Oh wow, that's interesting. Yeah, send that over. Send that over. Giannis or Embiid? Well, so Giannis missed this game yesterday with a knee. I think it had more to do with rest than anything. It was 2 games that weekend. They had just got a big W. I think the Bucks decided to punt that game. And Embiid just played a back-to-back this weekend. So I don't know. I think I always pick Giannis, but it's hard to go wrong there. All right, here we go. Couple of things that came out. There was a lot of like Miami news. So Jovic is out. Jermichael Green is still out. Duncan Robinson's questionable. Gabe Vincent's questionable. Wiseman is out. So they're going to be pretty thin at the big. Who does that? Oh, Kuminga is no. Yeah, Kuminga is out as well. So they're without Kuminga, Wiseman, Andrew Wiggins. Man, dude, Anthony Lamb is gonna be a pretty good play. I wonder if they give Moses Moody more run. But yeah, Warriors are. It feels like the Warriors are punting this game with a lot of people out, so that'll be something to pay attention to. But yeah, so the plan for this afternoon, by the way, so with it locking at 2 o'clock, at 3 o'clock, my plan is to get on stream around 2, maybe a few minutes before 2. I'll definitely tweet it out and put out the Discord. We'll go over all of the projections and all that stuff. We'll do it live before lock. Might be me running solo this week or on Monday, and then we're gonna have Super Rare Adam. Our Super Rare Adam fan is gonna be showing on. Roland said the NBA strategy show is definitely more fun. Great stuff. You should do it more often. Wait, which show? You mean the one that I wasn't on? Is that what you were saying? Thank you. Even if that's not what you meant, I love that. I love that. But yeah, so we'll do all the projection stuff this afternoon. We'll let some more news come in. You know what's going to be really challenging though, right? When game weeks lock, we're usually getting a lot of information at 5:30. We usually get a lot of information at 5:30, and we're not gonna have the time to do that because obviously it locks at 3 o'clock. So we're going to have to do a lot of guesswork, which I actually think gives you quite a bit of an edge in this tournament situation, right? Because I think most people are going to play it safe. Any sort of questionable thing, you just avoid. That's what the majority of people are going to do. So if we have any stars that are questionable, like we're not going to know the Warriors starting lineup tonight. I feel like there's an edge there. I think Giannis, speaking to him, because he missed that last game, people are like, oh, he's got a knee injury. Watch out. And like maybe he does, but maybe that means most people don't play him because they're a little bit nervous because we don't have that info. So I think that's like a real edge, a real way to capitalize on this slate is by, high risk, high reward situations. An example of that, the last 2 game weeks, was I rolled out quickly before we had Jalen Brunson news. And I was like, well, if Jalen Brunson sits, quickly he's going to go ham. And we got lucky that he sat both games. So we'll have to, what I'll do today is kind of like highlight some of those spots so we can talk about them. But yeah, as Andrew said, do you have any NBA best ball sweats as well? Yeah, let's go over to Underdog and we can look at some of these best ball sweats. Our man JBB is going to be coming on sometime this week too to do some playoff stuff. First, I'll show you the football one and how disappointing this has been. It's really been a bummer. I was so excited to have a sweat, and it did not materialize almost immediately. So right now, 335 out of 470 with 90 points, like really sucks. However, like Kirk Cousins was garbage. I still got Joe Burrow and T Higgins going tonight. So hoping they can like carry the torch here. You can see like Justin Jefferson didn't even log any points for me last night. And so it was pretty tough sledding, but I'm hoping Joe Burrow and T Higgins kind of carry me up the leaderboard. As you can see, like even if I get like 30 points combined, that's like a nice jump. So let's hope that game pops off. All right, so here's my NBA best ball situation. This is what will take a long. Yeah, the Justin Jefferson line. Absolutely, I know it was tough. I was pretty bummed yesterday. I really thought I was set up nicely, and I got off to a hot start with the Tyquan Thornton big touchdown catch, and then we also had what was the other one? We had Tyquan Thornton. Oh yeah, Algier with the first quarter score. Connor was getting a lot of touches, and then it just didn't materialize. All right, so these are the NBA sweats that we have. So we drafted a bunch together too on stream. So I'll check a few of these. But this was the small ball $5 entry. And you can see right here, I had 35 entries over the course of the NBA season. And right now I have actually, I'm going to look at it on my phone while you guys look at this and I'll scroll down. But I believe I have 8. No, I won't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 of 35 advancing right now, which we'll absolutely take. We're very happy with that. And then for the $25 one, I only did 4 of those and I have 2 advancing, but here we go. This one's got like 8,800, and you'll see my highest exposure in best ball this year was SGA. And because of that, that's why I'm doing well. I got as much SGA as I could, and he's obviously been having an incredible year. So we got over 1,600 points from him. Tyler Hero and Anthony Simons both have been great. Ben Simmons, whatever. And then my wings, I got a lot of Tatum this year. Tatum, Keldon, Jeremy Grant. And then down here, bigs is Zion. So I had a lot of Zion, a lot of Anthony Davis, but I also took a ton of Jaren Jackson Jr. late. And that's kind of the stuff that saved me. Oh, look at this. This is actually a team hold draft that we did, right? So we can see there's a lot. I see a lot of familiar faces. We got Fireware. I don't know. I'm in second right now, 9,100, right? So this is Drew, KPJ, Jordan Poole, Spencer Dinwiddie, Lou Dort, Anthony Melton. And then Siakam and Jalen have been my big point getters. And then down with Jokic, Draymond. I see some Mark Williams in there. But let's look at the rest of these squads. So we got Kawhi. Oh, actually, let me do it this way. Big Ticket's in third right now. Shout out to Big Ticket, baby. He had that SGA, Russ, Jalen Green start. He's also got KD and DeMar DeRozan, who's like, the Bulls have been bad, but man, DeRozan's been cooking. And then he spread out his bigs. Wow. Mason Plumlee, the best point getter of his bigs. We got to look at Chewy in fourth with Donovan, Fred VanVleet. Who else? Tatum, Clay. Oh, Kyle Kuzma, man. Didn't see Kuzma being the guy you needed. A lot of bigs there from Chewy. Who else? Any other? T-Man Baller. We know T-Man Baller. He's got Trey, Steph, Fox. Got hurt by that the Steph injury, Trey injury too. And then his wings letting him down a little bit. And then Kristaps and Bam have been cooking. Who else we got? Kawhi Leonard down here with CP3, Colin Sexton. Kawhi Leonard like really balanced here. Giannis, but if Kawhi comes on strong, he's going to be in pretty good shape there. Pretty good shape. Storm and Pinball, let's go. Hallie, Kyrie. Who bones Storm and Pinball over here? LeBron missing time. Vooch has been great too. Vooch has been great, but it's still so early. It's so early and still so close. It's hard to get like too excited or too bummed out about your best ball squads yet, because it's just early, too early. All right, gang. I think what we're going to do is we'll call it there. Appreciate everyone tuning in this morning. Fun to be back. I hope everyone had a great weekend and a happy new year. Just a reminder, we'll be back again, probably 2:00 Eastern, maybe a few minutes before. If you can't tune in, that's fine. But just remember, your lineups lock at 3. A lot of people are going to be pissed off today. I'm calling it now. And yeah, so tune in then. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow for the morning show. Hope everybody has a great start to the week. We are out.